Good evening, good afternoon. It's a beautiful day in my part of the world. Thank you for coming in. Let us know who's in the chat. We're going to try to do some fishing today. First day of the year of 2025, I get to go fishing. So I thought I'd take you with you. We're going to have a really great day today. We're going to have crappy weather again this week, and I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do this week. So today's the only day I get to go fishing. It's really windy out, but it's a beautiful day. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. We appreciate that. If you're back there in the chat, say hello. We're going to try to catch some fish. We're going to catch the biggest fish ever swam in the lake, is what we're going to do. Even if we don't, we're going to lie about it and say we did. How's that for you guys? It's a beautiful day, man. It's 74, supposed to get up to about 78. But like I said, we are dealing with high winds. So we'll have to see how it goes. If you've been with me on my fishing trips last year, you've seen this location a few times. We've come out here a few times. We're excited. Thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to the channel. We are going to be going deep sea fishing here in a few months in April. We're going to be hanging out in April, out in southern Alabama in April. Woo, man, that wind's strong, boys and girls. I'm going to blow my hat off. I'm going to have to put my hat on. That wind is so strong. All right, let's keep going fishing. But yeah, if you're catching this on the replay, man, I can't thank you enough for that. We appreciate all the support we get. And we're going to show you some beautiful scenery when we get up here. For now, you get to look at my ugly mug. See if we can't catch some fish. I am on my mobility scooter. If you're disabled in life, have a lot of health issues, you know, it sucks being disabled, but I want to encourage you to go ahead and figure out a way to get out and about in society and in nature. And I highly recommend buying a mobility scooter. I'm working on making you guys a video about mobility scooters. The one I have no longer serves my purpose. It's gotten really old and it's not a very good outdoor one. It's more designed for indoors. So it's not very good, but you know, the good outdoor one runs a good $3,000 to $5,000. So the one I'm looking for is $3,000. So I can do these outdoor. This one I'm on is kind of small, underpowered for a guy like me. The ergonomics is bad on it. I'm grateful to have it. Don't get me wrong. But I do tip over in this one. So if I fall off, don't laugh at me. So, Ruxa, if that's how you pronounce that, good to see you, thank you. Wow, I know you guys don't know this, but let me show you this pathway. So here's the lake we're gonna fish, all right, a little bitty lake. And they repaved the road. The road has been repaved. Last year, this was all busted up, tree roots growing everywhere. It was so bumpy, you about gave yourself a back hernia going up and down this road here. So man, they came in this winter and repaved it. It's really nice. But you guys can see that bridge way over there, or that pier. We're going over there to fish. So here's like one of those places they probably had to do a lot of roots on. We're gonna try to catch some fish, maybe trout, catfish, perch, brim, anything that will swim, we're gonna try to catch, guys. But man, thank you all for the thumbs up. Subscribing to our channel if you would. Now, it's early in the year, so the water is cold. So I got to decide where I want to post myself, because what we're looking at this time of the year with the cold water is you want to, thank you, you want to find an area, ooh, the tree is down. That tree fell down over the winter. Holy crap. Where maybe the water is not as cold, you want to warm it up a little bit. So a lot of times you want to fish shade in the summer. But when it's kind of cool out, and it's a beautiful day out, but this is our first really warm day, the water temperature is going to be, I don't know, maybe in the 40s or the 50s. I'm not for sure. Dixie, what's up? What's up with you? Thank you for coming in. We're going fishing. The wind's really strong today, so I need to factor that into my fishing. I haven't quite decided where I'm going to fish around this pier. But Dixie, how are you? I usually fish. Let me think a second. Let me show you. So hopefully you guys are getting to see. I want to see where I should fish because I'm trying to judge the wind and all of that mess. And since this is a little lake, it doesn't have a water flow. It doesn't have in and out, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just got to think. Well, you know what? We can try fishing here. Let's see if the sun's behind me or not. And how that works. See how that looks? Thank you all for being here, watching, liking, subscribing. So this way we are facing the wind. So here the wind's blowing right into us. So I don't necessarily think that's necessarily good because the wind's really strong today. You know, I may just fish right here off the deep end. I may fish here today. I'm a little bit more protected out of the heavy winds right here. And I got some shoreline I can fish there, the tree, some brush, and the deeper water there. So I think that's what we're gonna do. All right, you guys be patient with me while we get set up. Thank you for coming in, by the way. We got some worms today. We're not getting too crazy today because, you know, we know that it's still winter time. Yeah, look like a bum in my hat. I can already tell I should have bought more Gatorade. But let's see what we can do. We have a couple of ultralights. We have one big rod that we're going to use down on the bottom. I got an ultralight that I'm going to fish on the bottom. And then I got an ultralight that I also has a bobber and a hook on. Maybe catch some small perch on that one. And see how that goes. This one here, this ultralight that I have, there's supposed to be some trout in this water. They stock it every year, they say. So I might throw some power grub. I better get some hand cleaning water out there. I'm gonna need to flip around. That wind is probably blowing 15 to 20 miles an hour, sometimes gusting. So I'm gonna turn myself around. And I've never fished the other side of this pier, but I think today going with the wind is a bad decision. So if I was river fishing, you definitely want to go with the wind or the current. But I'm gonna just go this way and go with the wind instead against the wind. Yeah, we're out of the wind a little bit, and if we do get in the wind, it's gonna take it that way. Okay? I did bring some trout bait, some worms. Make sure when you're out fishing that you never drop any of your litter. Be very careful about that. Pick up your litter. We don't want to make a mess in our environment. So we're just going to do some egg, salmon egg invitation. And I don't know where the trout would be in this lake. I have no freaking clue. Because I've only river fished for trout. But we're going to give that a shot. And we got a bigger pole here that we're going to load a night crawler on. It's kind of more of a heavy deer, really for bigger fish, but you know, it can't hurt, right? Hello, you subscribe to me? Thank you. Thank you for subscribing to me. Thank you for coming in, watching us fish. Here's my location today. I'm fishing out a little lake. It's extremely windy, so I got to be kind of cautious what I do, but I'll be able to manage, I promise. We appreciate everybody liking and subscribing and sharing, telling the word about us. We try really hard to bring you guys good content on YouTube. We do indeed try hard. So I'm going to take worm. See, let me turn that around. So yeah, we got a little worm on a hook. It's kind of a big hook, so I'm kind of looking for something a little bit bigger, maybe a catfish, which in the past we've caught a lot of catfish out of here. And we're just going to bottom fish with that one a little bit. Set it up in the notch, wait and see what happens. Let's see here. All right, oop, I almost lost my cover to my worms. Let's get our bobber out there and see if there's a perch or something that has an interest in us today. You got to always, when you go fishing, make sure you take a rag with you so that you can clean your hands. I always bring extra bottles of water so I can wet my rag down. Because I do like to keep things kind of clean. Thank you for watching me fish. Hope you guys are having a great day. Any day you can go fishing is a good day in my book, right? Water temperature is still probably in the 60s here for sure. All right. I think we're set up for a little bit. Looks like we got a lot of people out walking today, enjoying the day. And if you're fishing in high winds like I am, sometimes you got to try to figure out how to use the wind to your advantage to blow your bait where you want it to go. So windy out here, I got to wear my chin strap. I got a few people watching. Come in and say hello in the chat. Let us know who's all here. Say hi to each other. If you got YouTube channel, let me know. Maybe we can help you grow a little bit. We usually catch a whole lot of little fish at this little lake. It's really nothing but a big pond, to be honest. It doesn't have like a river or a stream coming into it. So that's one of the sad things about it. It doesn't have inflow and outflow. But I can see the turtles are waking up. When I come out here, usually I'm usually out here a little bit later in the evening, but since it's still spring here, it could get pretty chilly, you know, almost at dusk. So sometimes I stay until, you know, after dark, but not today because it's just going to be too chilly out, even though it's currently 70 degrees, 74 degrees. So it is a beautiful day in my part of the world. Let's just hope we can find something other than a turtle to catch. I'll let you good folks just look and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Even though we got to the winds to on my back, I got a feeling I'm not in the right place. I think we're going to be too far from the structure where the dead trees and things are. I think we're on the wrong part of the bridge where there's not a lot of branches and brush in the water. So I usually don't fish this side, I fish the other side. The Gabe, hey man, how are you? What's going on in your world? The Gabe, how are you? We're out fishing today, my friend. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm going to turn around and fish at this other little point. It's all right. I understand. Man, a lot of moss in the water today. Yes, I remember you. I'm the one who encouraged you to change your name up a little bit. So yes, I remember you. The real question is, do you remember me? Let's park right here. A lot of moss in the lake today for some reason this winter. Yes, I do, yep. No, I haven't caught anything yet. I just literally got here a few minutes ago. So no fish as of yet. It's really windy out. So the odds are not in my favor, to be honest, today. It's, you know, the lake water is still really cold. But it's our first really nice warm day of the spring. So I couldn't pass the opportunity up to come out here and try to cause a little trouble. So that's what I'm gonna do. Well, it's not over here, no. It is not over. It's gonna be back cold tomorrow and rainy. We got, 3 or 4 more weeks of winter. We just get some nicer days, more nicer days this time of the year. So, but no, by no means is it over. So, some of us just kind of hope it is. And so maybe we push the boundaries. So what I'm using for bait on this little lake, which is really like a giant pond, it's supposed to have some trout in it, rainbow trout. So I'm going to use a little power bait that I've never used here. It's cold this winter, so maybe they did stock it with trout. So I'm going to try that. But what I'm really using is just night crawlers, just worms. So I put worm on the bottom, and I got a bobber. I got a worm on a bobber. So something like this. And I'm just gonna float my bobber and worm over in the shallows and maybe catch a perch, is what I'm hoping. Okay. But it's really windy here, so I'm gonna have a hard trouble keeping a bobber in the place that I want it to stay in. But that's okay. Yeah, my wife goes to work, so she's working. And I am not. So, yep, she's working. I see some perch. My wife really likes to fish, but she has to work. So I will do the fishing for her. No, today I'm just by myself. I'm just here by myself. I think you should go fishing. I believe that fishing makes us better human beings. I'm a firm believer in that. But, so yeah, I just came over on my own. It's not real far from our house. So I'm just here kind of doing a live stream, killing some time. Trying to get myself back in the fishing mode, getting my gear ready, getting organized is part of fishing. So that's what partly, the first few times you go fishing, you're kind of not all geared up the way you're supposed to be. You forget things. You remember when you were 5 or 6, you got a big old catfish? Yeah, we've caught catfish out of this little lake quite a few times too. Catfish and perch are a lot of fun, especially for kids. It's one of the ways to get kids excited about fishing. is take them catfishing or perch fishing. One of the best things you can do. And fishing's cheap. It can be really expensive, but it doesn't have to be. You don't got to spend a lot of money on fishing tackle or anything. It allows you to get outside, allows you to get exercise. It's good for you. It's fun, it's entertaining. So I'm a big fan of fishing. Thank you all for watching, by the way. Your dad got bit by a fish? Well, that's funny. Yeah, a lot of times in our part of the world that if you're swimming, like if you're out swimming in the water, you're wading in the water, you know. Fix my hat here, it's driving me crazy. If you're wading there, I look a little sillier, but it might be all right. A little perch will come up and eat the skin off of your legs and your feet. Sanders, how's it going? Well, I just got here, so it's beautiful out here. It's finally in the upper 70s. Just got here about 30 minutes ago. Haven't caught crap. The water here is still going to be really cold because we haven't had enough warm days to warm it up. So I don't think I will do too well fishing, to be honest. But, no, it doesn't hurt. It's just like little nibbles. You know, it doesn't hurt. It's just kind of like this game. Go swimming, yeah. And this type of lake, you wouldn't want to go swimming in. It's too small, which means your water is really nasty and dirty, versus like rivers or bigger lakes. So little bitty lakes and ponds, you don't necessarily want to go swimming in. Sanders, how are you doing today, my friend? Are you busy at work? Just getting off work? What's going on in your world? I thought I'd come out today and fish because tomorrow's supposed to be cold again. And then I have some business I got to do this week. Today's going to be about my only day to get to go. Oh, is your name Sanders? Yeah, our good friend Sanders, Tate Sanders is up there. He said, how's it going to everybody? He has a great, outstanding channel too. Yeah, he's usually working, is what he's doing. And so he pops in and out a lot because he works. And when he gets a couple of minutes here or there, or goes on his break, he says, I'm still working until 6:30 p.m. Well, I'm not going to fish that late. Never mind. That's all right. Let me throw my little worm closer. I got a sunken tree branch over here. I really don't expect to catch much of anything because the water is just so cold here right now that the fish are still very lethargic. I've never stayed up after 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. you mean? Well, there's always tomorrow. If you stay up too much, you can give yourself a headache. It's 1 a.m. So you don't stay back. Midnight is 12 p.m. So the evening's p.m. The morning is a.m. and so 1 a.m. is the start of the new morning. So when you stay up really late, like to 2 a.m., that's what people are talking about. Can fish freeze? They absolutely can freeze. But fish are pretty smart. What they kind of do is hibernate or they get lethargic. They will sink to the bottom, bury themselves in mud, and kind of ride the winter out. They don't eat as much. They conserve their energy. But yes, but they can also live through a freeze. So, but yes, they can technically freeze. Live or dead, yes. But a lot of fish can deal with the cold waters, and some cannot. I saw a couple fish in the water. I won't make it 5 minutes in it. Yeah, I don't know what the water temperature is, but I'm guessing it's probably 58 degrees. So it's still very cold. And I don't see much activity on the lake today. Got to run. Holler you later. All right, buddy. Appreciate you. See, some of the young people after school today are out here fishing with their lures, trying to catch some fishies. Can I speak Spanish? No, sir, I cannot. I can barely speak English. This area has a nice biking trail or hiking trail, walking trail you can go around and fish. Oh, you got to make time for fishing. What do you mean you don't have time? Do you have any water where you are? If you got ponds, rivers, or creeks anywhere near you, you can make time to go fishing. I know you're in America, but I'm talking about where you live. If you got time to do homework, you got time to fish. So you got a creek by you, maybe you can go fish in there if the water's deep enough. All you got to do is Google how to creek fish, and they'll teach you ways how to do it easily, so you can have good luck with it. But yeah, the water's still really cold, so there's going to still be very lethargic. It's probably going to be, you're going to need 5 or 6 good days, 70 degrees plus weather, even though this is a small lake, to warm this water back up in the 60s. It takes a lot of effort to warm water up. It doesn't take that much effort to cool water down. I have a question. On Christmas Eve, did you hear about the crash on highway where a car fell into some water and they lost their dad and daughter? No, I didn't hear that. That's really sad, though. It's okay. No, I didn't hear about that. It was in Sherman, Texas. No, I didn't hear about it, but I will say when tragedies strike around holidays, they kind of hit harder, right? And they get a whole lot more press during the holidays. Say if the same thing happened, maybe it gets a blurb in the news, but it doesn't get as much press because it's not the holidays. So that doesn't make it any sadder, any better, any worse. It's just a factor. When there's a holiday and bad things happen, it gets a whole lot more publicity. But anytime somebody loses their life unexpectedly, it's a very sad thing, my friend. Oh, I'm sure they are traumatized. Really sad, yes. It definitely will make that family remember Christmas Eve a whole lot more. Well, I have to go. Have the best day. Thank you, Gabe. We appreciate you. Take care. Enjoy your day. James, hey, good to see you, my friend. Yes, I don't know if Lorelai put the reels out yet, but she got the boxes in the mail today, and she opened them up, and she did some Facebook reels. She's working on the Facebook reels about the box you shipped her. And as always, she was tickled to death to get those. She took all of my candy, by the way, James. She claimed it for herself. No, James, I really didn't expect to catch much today, to be honest. One, it's really windy. Two, the water temperature is still going to be really cold. Today's our first real day in the mid-70s. The water temperature is probably in the 50s. I can tell the fish are still very lethargic. So I really don't see much activity today. But it gives me a reason to get out of the house. And the rest of the week, it's going to be up and down weather. And I got a whole bunch of other stuff I got to do off and on during the week. I got to meet with the county tax assessor and stuff like that. So I didn't know if I would get another chance this week to go. So I thought I'd better come out here and take you guys fishing and just see what happens. But I truly don't expect to catch much fish, James. But it's nice out. It's a beautiful day, The wife talking about all the chocolates and didn't share with you? How dare her? I know, man. She claimed them all for herself. I tried to explain it to her. But she didn't have anything to do with it. She's like, no, well, how it is. If James sent it, then it's for me. I'm like, well, all right, whatever. I'll go sneak it when she goes to work. Well, she's probably at work by now. Yeah, she's at work now. So by the time I get home, it'll be sitting out on the counter, and I'll go get my cut. But yeah, it's a gorgeous day today, man. We're only going to be out here probably until about 5:30-ish, because it's still getting a little nippy as the sun starts to go down. And so I don't want to get sick out here. So I'm only going to get to fish for a couple of hours today. I've been here about 30 minutes. So, but we're trying. But yeah, we're going to Alabama to look at houses and neighborhoods and stuff. And I've been doing a bunch of paperwork to get our house ready to go on the market when we're ready. And I found a discrepancy in our documentation, so I'm trying to get that worked out. The county tax record is showing I have a smaller house than I actually do, or than what the builder sold us. And so the tax county guy is going to come out later this week and measure the house to see who's wrong. And I'm going to be really mad if my house is smaller than I think it is, because that means I lose money. And it looks like it's about 120 square feet small. At $212 a square to 220, that's a lot of money. So I may not be really happy by the end of the week. Keep your fingers crossed, David. I'm the tax assessor. Yeah. Well, you know, the builder, on the builder plans, it shows our square footage as one thing. My tax document shows a different thing by about 120 square feet. And I don't know who's wrong. I looked at the blueprints from the builder, and I think the builders lied. And I'm really worried about that. I'm worried that my builder lied about the size of the house. So if that's the case, I got to contact everybody else in our neighborhood who has the same floor plan, and I'm going to ask them the same thing. Hey, what does the county have as your tax? Because if the builder lied to all of us, and we bought a house for we paid more than we thought we were doing, then that builder needs to answer to that. It's a pretty background, quiet there. Yeah, I'll show you the foreground, James. And get this brought in. Here's what the front of me looks like. So it's a small pond. It's a city lake. Yeah, that water is really cold. So what I've told the tax people, I said, look, I called them up, and I said, I think you guys are getting ripped off. Said, I don't think our measurement's right. I think, you guys aren't charging enough in tax. I'm hoping their assessor will come out and go, oh, your builder says it's $1,757, that's what you bought, or whatever it is, $1,790, whatever it is, $1,800. Then that's what we're going to go with, because that way we can jack up the tax rate. But why this is important, you ask, is because when I go to sell the property, I want it to be as big as I can get, because every dollar per square foot adds up. Yeah, I just felt the water here. The water is still, I bet you it's not even 50 degrees yet. I bet you it's in the upper 40s. I can look around and tell that there's only one or two. This lake has a lot of turtles, and there's very few turtles that are out. So I think the turtles are still hibernating. But yeah, it's a pretty little area. This is a city park, a city lake, real close to my house. But we're really looking forward, if we can pull it off this year, to go live in Alabama. Hopefully I can do a lot more fishing year round. During the summer, you'll see a lot of people walking here. A lot of people, a lot of girls, a lot of guys, a lot of kids come out here. There's a really nice walking trail. It goes all through this part of the region. It's kind of hilly, so you need to be in pretty good shape to take advantage of it. But this lake path isn't so bad. But I've taken my e-bike out here and rode, and it can be a little challenging. But yeah, normal days I would already have bites by now. But I brought some of the water up, and I can tell that the water temperature is really cold here. But if we get 5 or 6, 7 days, 2 weeks of really warm weather, then this little lake will heat up pretty quick. That wind is so strong. We're fishing on a pier, and the winds are so strong that it's just shaking this whole pier. Good that you talked to the surrounding. Well, I'm going to, James, because what I'm going to do, I haven't done it yet. What I'm going to do, if it comes back as wrong, not in my favor, I'm going to reach out to the other neighbors of that exact same floor plan and ask them, did you buy 1,800 square feet, and the county says it's only 1,600? Because if so, our builder ripped us off. They got us to buy a larger piece of property and the numbers than it actually was. So we're all going to take a financial loss. Hey guys, how are you? Hey girls or boys. So that's something, I'll reach out to the neighbors once I find this out, once I get my ducks in a row. MPP fishing. Hey, how are you? Well, I'm fishing. Not having any luck yet, but the water temperature is probably in the upper 40s. Not real good for fishing on this type of lake. I can look around and tell you that the turtles haven't come out of hibernation yet. I've seen 1 or 2 little perch, and they are swimming slow. So, yeah, we haven't caught anything. We haven't had a bite yet. And on this little pond, I'm usually cleaning house by now. But unless you're fishing for cold, that's correct. And this lake, we don't really have cold water fish. Supposedly they put trout in here. They stock it every so often during the winter months for people to catch trout. But I don't think they did that this year. But this isn't there's no cold water fish in here. Basically some catfish and some perch and supposedly some bass. But all we ever catch here are catfish and perch. But as you know, when that temperature drops, those fish go dormant. They go quiet. They become lethargic. So until that water gets up in the 60s, it's going to be pretty quiet on this lake. But it's a beautiful day, right? So you still can't beat it. James, and hello to you, MVP, and MB saying back to Robinson. You guys subscribe to each other? So yeah, if the land deal kind of comes out not in my favor, I'll reach out to fellow homeowners and say, wait a minute, are you guys all do we need to hire an attorney and sue the developer because he lied to us? Because you got to remember, if our house sells for $220 a square, if we're missing 120 square feet, that's a lot of money. Because I paid for that extra 120 square feet when I bought the house. But we'll see when he comes out this week. Hopefully he'll stop in and talk to me. I'm going to be home all week, so I'm hoping I'll catch the appraiser there. They do. A new good stiff cup of coffee. They need a good week of 70 and 70 plus degrees weather to get active again, to get things going. You can even tell that our trees aren't in bloom yet here. Our trees aren't leafing. They're just starting to bud out here. So it's not like spring has hit. We have a few more weeks. I suspect that we should get another snowfall. So I'm not going to be surprised if we get a 6-7 inches of snow in the next few weeks. The rule of thumb around this part of the country is April the 15th, tax day. You never plant anything that you don't want to freeze before April the 15th. No, it's all right. I understand. I just kind of read through everybody's typos, and I just kind of guess what you're talking about. You know. But we're excited about going to Alabama and fishing here in April. I'm telling you, last week of April, we're going to be in Alabama. And every night, we're going to try to go fishing at another park or pier so that we can figure out where we want to live. I just need my house to sell for really good money. Because if I got to finance another house the way interest rates are, I'm going to get my ass kicked. So, just something we got to think about. But yeah, the wind, and today we're having a spring windy day. It's probably, I don't know, gusts up 10, 15 miles per hour. Maybe I'll throw that over. I don't know. The water's just too shallow. I mean, it's too cold. I know it is. You know, when you fish a lot, you kind of know, you get a feel for things, right, MVP? We kind of know what's going on in the fishing world. You know your fishing environment, you know the terrain of the water, you know, or the ground that the water sits in. Usually, you know, have a pretty good understanding. And I know that this is gonna, and we're only gonna fish until about 5:30 anyway, because the sun starts to go down here, even though it's daylight savings time, where the trees are, and the temperature is going to drop on me into the 60s, and I don't like being out in anything below 70 degrees because I get sick easy. So, but it's still a good day to come out and fish. And we're just fishing with worms. But yeah, I can tell the turtles aren't even awake yet. Because on this lake, this little pond lake, the turtles are the first thing that seems to wake up around here. And I've only seen one turtle. One turtle. And if the turtles aren't awake, the fish aren't awake. All right, let's go to this other part. I'm gonna load up the mobility scooter and we're gonna drive to the other side of the lake. I'm hoping the water temperature, the way the wind's blowing, might be a little better there before we give it up today at 5:30-ish. you're not having luck in one part, it's okay to pack up and go to another part. A lot of moss on the water. All right, turn this off. Let's back up and get out of here. So this little area is where I normally fish. But it's facing into the wind without any shelter. So it might be a little rough today, but let's give it a try. All right. Dang it. All righty. There's some brush up against the shoreline over here that I usually fish. So I know there's brush there. And if the fish are awake at all, it is the sunny side of the lake. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hope you guys are just enjoying the scenery. Hurt myself. All right.